Ayo, and what is up, gang? Thank you so much for joining me here on Sledgehammer TV tonight for your official Monday Night Raw review on this November the 27th, 2017, and we are going to get right to it right here and right now on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of YouTube, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. So, let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me here again on the channel tonight. My name is Nick Nightmare. Along with me is my trusty companion, my tag team partner, and most importantly, the World Heavyweight Champion of microphones, Blue the Snowball Microphone, and we are here tonight to discuss Monday Night Raw from Knoxville, Tennessee, a land that time apparently forgot, because that crowd was absolutely awful tonight. But I am thankful for quite a few things that did happen on tonight's edition, and while we're talking about being thankful, I want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. I know it has since passed, but I have not been on the air in light of the holiday weekend. We were doing family things, as many of you guys were, I'm assuming. And I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving weekend. Hopefully filled to the rim with turkey and football, like a true Thanksgiving tradition truly requires. And, you know, everybody was sitting around the table with their families, right? You had a little mashed potatoes. Maybe you enjoyed a little bit of that. Maybe you had some sweet potato action going on the right-hand side, covered in some nice toasty marshmallows. You know what I'm saying? Doing my best Enzo Amoron impersonation for you guys right now. Maybe you guys enjoyed a little bit of the cornbread stuffing that your Aunt Margaret brought over. You know what I mean? It's a Thanksgiving tradition, right? I hope you guys enjoyed all of it as much as you could, and I hope that you got the appropriate rest that you would need to be able to digest the Monday Night Raw that we had tonight, because it was absolutely greasy and disgusting. And I did not enjoy it as much as I probably should have. You know, with the holiday weekend upon us, I knew I wasn't going to be on the channel all that much, so we did post the 5 worst Survivor Series moments in the history of the WWE for you guys to enjoy over the weekend. I hope you guys got your eyes on that. If not, feel free to do so after you watch over here. And also, coming up this Wednesday is going to be the first ever, the debut edition of the subscription box showdown. And we are going to have WrestleCrate versus That Wrestling Club. We got both our boxes sitting right over there. It's been killing me for days to not have opened them yet. I have not filmed it yet. It will be done, and it will be up this Wednesday. Join me and see who wins this week. Maybe you take part in a little poll and help me decide for yourself by voicing your opinion as well. So that's all the stuff I got to talk about. We got Christmas season coming up. I get a little bit excited for Christmas because I got a little kid, and it's a lot of fun to have Christmas again when you're an adult and you got some little kids. It makes it very stressful because you want to make sure you get everything, right? You got to get everything they want. God forbid you teach them a lesson that, you know, they can't have everything, you know? But you do your best. You try to get as much as you can. Hopefully you guys are successful as I have so far been, and hopefully that continues for all of us on this tremendous holiday season, as it is Cyber Monday, and I hope you guys took advantage of all the sales you possibly could have in preparing for this upcoming Christmas season. So, that all being said, let's get to some other news. Monday Night Raw. Jesus, man. You know, it's not that there was not a few nice moments tonight. There were a few moments that I enjoyed, but I should be enjoying the whole show. I don't understand where they're going and why they're doing things over again. Case in point, seeing Roman Reigns tonight with Elias in that Intercontinental Championship match actually took me by surprise. It's not that I didn't have faith in Elias to have a good match, and it's also not that, to be fair, it's not that I thought Roman is incapable of a good match. I just thought that WWE Creative was going to squash and bury the momentum that Elias has been gaining by making him eat a pin to Roman Reigns. He did eat that pinfall to Roman Reigns tonight, but in doing so, he made himself look absolutely fantastic, which is a good thing. The bad thing comes after the match, and it's very rare that I say the term bad thing when referencing Samoa Joe. But Samoa Joe's post-match attack on Roman Reigns after this Intercontinental Championship match did nothing for me except make me feel bad for Samoa Joe. Because there is no way on God's green earth that Samoa Joe is going to beat Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental Championship. If you are in the mindset that you think Roman Reigns won't be the Intercontinental Champion by the time we get to WrestleMania, then you are delusional, my friend. And you please need to wake up and start drinking some coffee. Much like I had to do all night during tonight's show, much like we had to do last week. Pumpkin spice, again, delicious. Gotta keep the fuel up, because that's how bad the show was, that I gotta keep myself amped up and awake. Samoa Joe being fed to Roman Reigns on the road to WrestleMania is essentially what's happening here. They're serving Joe up like your Thanksgiving turkey. All nice and toasty brown. They're going to slice him up, put him on a silver platter for your Intercontinental Champion to ingest at leisure, to make him big and strong, to make him look even better than the WWE wants him to look. Make him look strong, make him look powerful, knock up every single viable contender, line them up and knock them down. Don't knock them up, because that would be totally inappropriate and physically impossible, because we're talking about a bunch of men. But, linguistics and you have a little Freudian slips and this and that. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Line them up, knock them down. Every single big, strong guy on his way to Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 34, and the Universal Championship. That's the bottom line here, people. So yeah, is Roman Reigns going to have a good match with Samoa Joe? I'm sure of it. We've seen it already. That's the other thing. They're just giving us something we've already seen. We've seen Samoa Joe go down to Roman Reigns already. So what are we watching here? I would have much rather them continue this new storyline with Elias. Maybe extend that. Give that a story. Allow that to flourish. Allow Elias to continue to make himself shine opposite the biggest guy in the company. Why would that be bad? Looking at what he did tonight in the ring with Roman Reigns, how can you deny the talent that Elias possesses? Something that we have said on this show time and time again. I was just high on Elias since his days in NXT. I like to consider myself a very keen eye for talent, and the people that I usually get this vibe about, there's a reason for it, and they always end up elevating themselves to the next level. Whether or not WWE Creative allows them to break the glass ceiling or not, that's a whole nother direction. But the guy's talent cannot be denied. He looked absolutely fantastic. He looked like a great challenger opposite Roman Reigns. They made each other look fucking great. Roman Reigns had a great showing here tonight. It's not often I say that. I give the guy the credit where it's due. However, holding my Intercontinental Championship title over your arm like a trash bag is something we will forever be displeased by and will have disdain for and will consider disgraceful Every single time he does it. I don't care if it's the heavyweight championship of the world, if it's a tag team championship, if it's the damn cruiserweight title. If they gave him all of the belts and he held each and every one of them high over his head, but had it behind his back. The Rock used to do that shit too, and it pissed me off. Dolph Ziggler used to piss me off when he used to come with it wrapped around his ass. Right? He had the plate of the Intercontinental Championship on his ass. Disrespectful. I didn't like it. I know a lot of you guys don't really care about that kind of shit, and it's just semantics to you guys, and who cares? It's a fashion statement. It's a style, right? No, man. It's a belt. You don't wear your belts backwards. You want to put it over your shoulder? Put it over your shoulder. Don't put it behind your back for the world to see. If you're the Intercontinental Champion, that belt should be the first thing I see, not your stupid vest. And that's going to be the end of it on that before I go absolutely insane. For the most part, this show was all about the rise of Elias Samson to me. The rest of it, outside of the possible, and I'm not going to get all bent out of shape, and I'm not going to start hyping it up and really believing that it's on the horizon until I truly see it actually blossom. But we had a glimpse, a small glimpse of a hint that Matt Hardy might be breaking in the absence of his brother Jeff due to his recent string of bad luck. You know, he hasn't been doing that great in the ring. He seemed tonight, after losing to Bray Wyatt in a very quick match, in a very decisive match in Bray Wyatt's favor, that at the end of the match, he started to go a little crazy in the corner and started to do his trademark delete motion more than he's probably ever done it on WWE TV. And here is where I have to take huge points away from the Knoxville crowd. If you look around at this crowd during the show, and I'm going to be nice about it here, all you see is old people, young children, and fat people on their phones. I'm sorry. It's out there. I said it. I'm being honest. That's what we do. We bring the hammer down on this show. This is the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. This isn't the Sugar Candy Cane and Cookie Crumb fucking wrestling show. I'm not going to pull punches. That's not the way it is. The fans in this show were doing damage to my eyeballs. And their reactions to the majority of this show only furthered my sickness throughout this entire night. It made the show feel even less good than it probably was better if you were with a decent crowd. But this crowd was asleep during what could have probably been the best cruiserweight match and longest cruiserweight match we've ever had on Monday Night Raw. Nothing. Crickets. Crickets through the entirety of the show. We had two small pockets of fans chanting against one another for Roman Reigns. Let's go Roman, or we want Roman, no we don't. Both chants were very underwhelming. You put that same show on in a New York City crowd, in a Los Angeles crowd, in a Miami, in a Chicago, in a Toronto, tonight's show might have been maybe elevated up a step, because the ambiance and the crowd reaction can really make or break a show sometimes, and it definitely didn't help tonight, because the crowd was not even chanting delete. It sounded like there was 12 people there. And being that this is Tennessee, you know, this is a TNA place where they're familiar with the stuff, you would think that you would get the reaction that you're expecting from the crowd. No, but because Grandma and Grandpa aren't paying attention, they don't even watch the show, they just brought little Bobby and Susie over here so they can buy them some popcorn and a Roman Reigns finger so they can chant for these big sweaty men, right? They don't know what the hell they're watching. You know how many faces I've seen on their phones? Why do you buy a ticket to a show, especially you're down in the front row? Those tickets go for like $1,000 and you're sitting there on your phone? What are you doing? Ordering food? Looking for the nearest rest stop on your way out? What is it? You got an alarm set to go friggin' count your eggs at the farm? What are you more interested in than what's going on in the ring? How do you not know who Matt Hardy is? And know the whole Broken gimmick, especially in that Southern Belt area where everybody watched TNA. They probably all still do. Come on, guys. Wake up. Unacceptable. And then you had Asuka come out, being booked in the greatest Dana Brooke match I have ever seen. It was absolutely fantastic. Dana Brooke looked great. She looked the best she's ever looked. Not physically. She still looked like a giant sausage stuffed into a case. And she makes me want to vomit. And I didn't want to have to deal with her for very long. And thank God the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, granted my wish as she kicked her in the face once and got a 3 count. Dana Brooke was done in about 3.5 seconds. Bravo. Match of the night. Absolutely. Match of her life for Dana Brooke. That is the trajectory she should stay on. This is the way she should go about every match. They gave her a promo, right? They're showing you this promo of her talking shit about how, Asuka says nobody's ready for her, but I'm ready for her, and she keeps babbling so long that they actually cut the audio and faded out the interview before she was done talking, so God knows how long she was blabbering on about how awesome she was and how she was going to beat Asuka, and by the time they pulled the interview off the screen, the match was fucking over, and it was fantastic. My favorite Dana Brooke match happened tonight. November the 27th, 2017. Mark it down. Never let me forget it because it's probably never going to happen again. This was my favorite moment of the night. It would then be followed up by Paige and her little goon squad, right? Paige and the Minions, which, what the hell did they say they were calling themselves? The Absolution. Right? That's their name. The Absolution. The only absolution about this trio is that it's garbage. The only absolution about any of this that's happening is that it's unnecessary. And that these girls should be nowhere near the main roster and nowhere near Paige. I don't care that they made it make sense tonight a little bit in the storytelling by Paige, which was great. But the minute Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville over there opened their mouths, I simply wanted to crawl into a hole and cover my ears with concrete and let it dry up so that maybe I never have to hear this shit again. They were terrible. You want to talk about green? My God. I can't stand it. And it makes me terrified to see if we're going to see them pull the exact same thing again tomorrow night with Ruby Riott, the pigeon lady, and her flock down there. Garbage. A great moment with Asuka beating the hell out of Dana Brooke. However, all that amusing shit being said, I am highly interested in the possibility of Asuka versus Paige, which seems to be the direction in which they are beginning to build. So those things probably were the only things I enjoyed tonight. It's not about the quality of the wrestling tonight. It's just about how many times can we see the same show. You know, you're going to come at me and say, oh, well, Seth Rollins and Cesaro had a good match. Yeah, sure. Of course they did. They've wrestled 2,000 times in the last 3 weeks. They should have a good match. They shouldn't be having a good match. They should be having epic, great encounters the amount of times these two guys have locked up over the last few months. What did you expect? Did you expect it to be a bad match? No. These are two of the top guys in the company. Let's be real. Seth Rollins is one of the best. Cesaro, pound for pound, easily one of the most underutilized, underappreciated performers on the roster. What did you think was going to happen? Did you think you were going to not see a good match? It should have been great. And even if they put on a great match, you would forgive the fact that you've seen this a million times already. And we're going to see them again next week for the Tag Team Championships, which is so predictable at this point. You already know what's going to happen. Roman Reigns is walking around with his belt. They're going to give it to the other two, so the Shield is walking around the most dominant faction, blah, blah, blibbity, blah. And Brock Lesnar can stay on vacation with the only other belt on the brand. Because the Cruiserweight belt don't count. You want to talk about repetitive? The Cruiserweight match didn't even happen tonight before you already knew you were getting the same exact thing again next week. And lo and behold, not only did they come out of nowhere and give you this great, new thing, that's not what they did. They gave us the same shit they've been giving us because the creative team sucks so bad that they can't think of anything more for a group of more than 2 people or 3 people to do other than a fatal 4-way. So Kurt Angle says tonight, the Cruiserweights are all pissed off that Enzo Amore is not getting a challenger and he's got his little Zoltrain that's getting in everybody's way. Bleh. So they want justice. They want Kurt Angle to do something about this. Kurt Angle's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 2 fatal 4-ways. Because the 2 we had last week and the 2 we had last month and the 25 of them we had this year, not counting the 5-ways, was not enough. We're going to have 1 this week and then we're going to have another one next week. And the winners of this match in the 3rd week, leading up to the pay-per-view, we'll have a match. The 2 winners of those matches will face off one-on-one and decide the contender for Enzo Amore's championship. 2 fatal 4-ways. After we've had fatal 4-way, after fatal 4-way, women's division, tag team division, cruiserweight division, over and over, 8-man tags, 4-man 4-ways, fatal 5-ways. Oh my God. Can you come up with anything different? You could have echoed the Cruiserweight Classic and pulled off a little mini 8-man tournament. Do 4 matches tonight, 4 matches next week, the final 2 or 3 in the last week. You could have done the same thing. Generate a little excitement. Create a few nice little graphics, Put up on the Titantron, put up a little board with the names, people can get behind it. Maybe give each match a certified time limit. So you have to win in that certain amount of time. If you don't win, both contestants are out. Be creative. Try something. How come I can try it here, late at night, on a Monday night after Raw, but you can't come up with any of this shit within 7 days to the next show? Fucking ridiculous. Titus O'Neil gets a match versus Samoa Joe. Why? Oh, we're continuing this retarded storyline with Apollo Crews, who doesn't stand a chance against Samoa Joe. Nobody really stands a chance against Samoa Joe. Why are we watching Titus O'Neil fight Samoa Joe? This was a sloppy slugfest at best. Titus O'Neil looked like he had no fucking clue what he was doing out there. He made Samoa Joe look like trash. They looked like they were almost fighting for real at one point. Because I thought Samoa Joe got pissed off that this guy's just throwing slaps and punches and they're not even hitting right. Guy can't even throw a punch. He's better off just making the punch for the guys in the back. Serve the punch to the PA crew and the production kids. Get him off TV. He's ruined Apollo Crews even worse than he was at the start of this whole thing, which I didn't think was possible. And he goes out there tonight and puts on a 5-star stinker, puts on a terrible performance against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe could wrestle a broomstick, man. You put him out there against this big, tall, lanky, clunky milk dud, and that's what you get. That's what you get. Samoa Joe wins, duh. Of course he's going to win. But it was a terror to get there. It was horror to watch. And then you have Apollo Crews bowing up at the end like he's going to do something. Not going to do nothing. Samoa Joe, Coquina Clutch, goodbye. Everybody got choked out tonight. Absolutely ridiculous. For the women's division, we were going to have a 6-woman tag match. Surprise, let's not be original. Let's plan this, right? So this is what I was thinking going in. But at least they swerved me and they pulled something a little different. However, the participants were not to my desire. Sasha Banks comes out. Her partners were supposed to be Bayley and Mickie James, but they both end up not coming out at all. Their music played, both of them, one after the other. Neither one of them came out to the ring, leaving Sasha Banks all alone for Paige and the Absolution to come out. This is where she tells the world they're going to be called the Absolution. She says she's the matriarch of the women's division. She was the first one to start the revolution and the evolution of the women's division. Before there was Sasha Banks and all these other ones, there was Paige. And then she's become forgotten about. Nobody forgot about you, honey. You just got into a little bit of trouble. And you weren't allowed to play. And now you're back. And she likes this "I'm back" thing she's doing. And that's a little cringy. But all in all, her promo was very good tonight. Like I said, when the mic went to the other two, I just wanted to put a gun to my head, and I can't help but wonder why Peyton Royce and Billie Kay are not in this role, or they didn't pull the trigger on putting Ruby Riott with her and somebody else of the like. You didn't need Mandy Rose, a Trish Stratus wannabe. She will never be able to lace Trish Stratus's boots. The choker around her neck has got to go. She's a beautiful lady, and that makes her look terrible. She looks boxy and square. It looks like it's cutting off circulation, and it's giving her a Barbie head. Terrible. Sonya Deville. More like David Seville. Where's your chipmunks, girlie? These girls didn't even have a new outfit on tonight. They couldn't even decide to spruce it up a little bit, you know? Maybe goth it up. You're with Paige. I don't know. My mind is too complex for this shit. Absolutely terrible. This whole thing was absolutely pointless. All they did was threaten Sasha Banks. They said, join us. You're with us or you're against us. You know, the same old stable style shit. Obviously, Sasha Banks isn't going to go for it. She got a beat down for it, and on we go. Jason Jordan's in the back. He says he's fine, and he's upset that Braun Strowman is not here tonight because he would have liked to invoke his rematch against him since last week was interrupted by Kane. But since that can't happen, maybe he should take out the guy that took out Braun Strowman to prove how great he is. So give me Kane, Dad. And Dad says, oh, well, are you sure you're okay? We go through the same nonsense as last week. And then he books the match. Kane versus Jason Jordan. I wanted to throw up. In fact, I may have threw up in my mouth a little bit right now. Just thinking about it again. Terrible booking. Terrible booking. Not only am I going to be forced to see Kane again, which I can't wait for this to be over. Just make him go away already. And now I have to watch him go up against the adopted wrestling son, the phony Kurt Angle's son. And what ended up happening at the end only makes it worse, and we will get to that, because that was the main event. Another very huge problem with this show. Like I said, we'll get to that in a minute. The Cruiserweight Fatal 4-Way, the first of two that we will be getting, featured Daivari, Noam Dar, Rich Swann, and Akira Tozawa, all vying for that first spot in that one-on-one match to decide who will be the number one contender for the Cruiserweight Championship. Do you really care? No. But This was a very good match for the Cruiserweight division on Monday Night Raw. It featured a lot of great action. There wasn't that many commercial breaks, and it did have a nice amount of time allotted to it. Usually we're used to this shit wrapping up in about 5 minutes. This went way longer than that. I thought it was a good match for them. Nothing earth-shattering that's going to break the roof off and, allow them to expand the Cruiserweight division or give them more time on Raw, but it was a solid match between these four guys, and it was great. Rich Swann would get the win. Surprising to me, I thought they'd go with Tozawa, but they did not here. They went with Rich Swann, and he will move on to be the first one in this match. And on next Monday Night's Raw, we will find out who we will be facing in the second of these ridiculous and repetitive Fatal 4-Ways, but as I said, this was a very good match. Bray Wyatt comes out and starts jibber-jabbing, man. I'm Bray Wyatt, man. I'm going to come out here again and I'm going to talk some shit, man. And I'm going to tell you that I wanted to save y'all, man. But you didn't listen to me and now you're all dead. And then he said that shit like 20 times. We're all dead, you're all dead, you're all dead. What is he talking about? I loved me Bray Wyatt. Big Wyatt family fan, big follower of the Buzzards. This guy right here. This Bray Wyatt seems like a whiny, pathetic, psychotic man. No motive, no creepiness about him. He's just crazy now. It's like the WWE has driven him legit insane. That even his crazy promos are now crazier than ever. Because he probably doesn't even know where to go. So he's just out there talking some shit, man. Bray Wyatt, man. My Wyatt family brethren are dressing up like Kane, man. And they won't come home to the Wyatt family. I don't know why. We're all dead, man. What is he doing? Matt Hardy would come out, as we talked about earlier in the show. Very quick match here. A lot less impressive than I thought it would be. When Matt Hardy came out, I was looking forward to a pretty good match. But what we got was somewhat of a domination by Bray Wyatt, playing on the fact of Matt Hardy being a little downtrodden and being off by a step as of late. And as we said, the most intriguing thing is after Bray Wyatt would surprisingly get the win, Matt Hardy seems to go a little crazy in the corner, chanting delete, and that would be maybe a tease. But we will wait. We are not going to get excited and sit here and tell you, oh, it's happening. We'll wait and see. He did post on Twitter that he has been awoken, but we've seen him trolling us on Twitter for the last year since WrestleMania, and I'm not going to believe anything until I see it. Maybe it's finally happening, maybe not. You know how things change by the minute in the WWE, so who knows what's in store for that whole thing. Elias versus Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental Championship was coming up next, and we had at first a performance by Mr. Elias, which was ruined by the interjection of the Miz Taraj once again. Why are they even still a thing? The Miz is gone. They should be gone too. Clearly they are being used as a way to keep the Miz's name on TV right now. I think I heard the Miz's name more tonight between Roman Reigns saying it and the commentary saying it and everything that happened surrounding this match. More than we've heard all year. The commentary tonight was super repetitive and dreadful. How many times can you say the big dog in one night? Ask Michael Cole, because he definitely was going for the world record. This concert was ridiculous. We had Bo Dallas and I almost called him Kurt Hawkins. Thank God it wasn't Kurt Hawkins. Curtis Axel, really, what's the difference? Pretending to play harmonica to what was clearly being broadcasted over the PA system. They were not playing those instruments, you guys. Elias was strumming along. It was mildly entertaining at best. I chuckled the most at how happy Elias was that this seemed to make him very giddy, and he was like, yeah, man, this was great. I really liked that, and that made me smile just because of the way he was putting it over. But other than that, this was useless. This was clearly a segment set up to get the crowd annoyed enough to chant for Roman Reigns to finally please come out here and stop this segment. They don't want to see you come out and wrestle, believe me. They just wanted this to end. So let's get this match started. And much to my surprise, like I said, this would be a very great match, especially for Elias, proving to the world that he could hang with the biggest of the big in the WWE, with the guy that they think is the top guy. For him to come out looking so formidable and like such a viable contender, I was very happy with the way he ended up losing this match, because my first instinct when hearing this match was, well, there goes Elias. Like once again, building up all this momentum, making him look great. He's got a great gimmick, a good character. Let's just give him to Roman. Let Roman just barrel through him. Start Roman's rise to power by taking out a new up-and-comer, Which definitely could have happened if this match would have been over in 2 or 3 minutes. The 5 moves of doom, Superman punch, spear, done. But that is not what happened here. Elias would take the Intercontinental Champion to the limit and absolutely take him to school tonight and show him that Elias is no one to be overlooked and no one to be messed with. I did enjoy this match, so kill me. Kill me if you think I'm crazy. I actually enjoyed a Roman Reigns match. I'm giving almost all of the credit to Elias because it takes 2 to tango, and he brought Roman Reigns to one of his best matches I've probably seen all year. It could have been better. Probably would have been a great match. These guys have probably been practicing on the house show circuit or whatnot, but it was very, very good. Reigns wins, but so does Elias, proving what I've been saying all along, that this guy is a bona fide superstar. We talked about the post-match attack by Samoa Joe on Roman Reigns, which normally I'd mark out for and get all excited about. But as we already pointed out, we've seen this before, we know where it's going, and it's going to do nothing but hurt Samoa Joe. A guy that could legitimately be the Intercontinental Champion and really bring prestige and truly be a fighting champion and not have to be the Intercontinental Champion because the belt that they really want you to have is on a part-timer who's hanging out back at his farm throwing hay bales at cows and playing with Sable and the kids. God bless him. The guy's making money, spending time with his family. Great. Good for you, bro. But we need a Universal Champion, which is equal to a World Heavyweight Champion, on the number 1 show in the company, don't you think? If not, you get things like Roman Reigns, the main event guy, swallowing up the mid-card title because there's nothing else there to make him look great. Terrible. Dana Brooke versus Asuka we covered. That was absolutely the best moment of the night for me. Absolution surrounds the ring, leading us to believe Paige is going to be next in line for Asuka. They then announced the tag team title match for next week. The Bar, the champions, versus Rollins and Ambrose, where Rollins and Ambrose are going to beat them and become champions alongside Roman Reigns. And then we had the main event of the evening. Now, why was this the main event? You easily could have made this a better show simply by swapping this segment with the Intercontinental Championship segment. That should have been your main event to go off the air tonight. How do you not go off the air showcasing your top title that is active on the brand? You have your number 1 guy in the company having his first title defense, and you put it on at 10 o'clock so that we can see Kane in the main event. Are you fucking kidding me? What am I watching? Why would they do this? for Braun Strowman? Braun Strowman doesn't need that to be a main event thing. That could have easily started this show. And it would have kicked off the show with a bang. Braun Strowman is back. Take out Kane, get it over with in the beginning, get Jason Jordan out of the way in the beginning of the show, and then continue on with the rest of the show as you wrote it, and I probably wouldn't be as critical and as angry. But going off the air, in your last match featuring a virtual squashing of Jason Jordan to the point where the referee has to call off the match because the kid can't even make it to his feet anymore, which is more damaging to the character of Jason Jordan than anything. Going from that only to have Finn Balor for some reason come out, due to his history with Kane, says Michael Cole, come out there just to get decimated and eaten alive by the big red monster. Finn Balor got off a few shots, but Kane absolutely destroyed Finn. And it was unnecessary. Why was he the gap to bridge Braun Strowman's entrance? Why couldn't Braun Strowman have just come out in place of Finn Balor? It would have been better to not have used him at all than to put him out there and have him just ragdolled by Kane and just totally treated like a trash bag. It truly shows you what this company sees in Finn Balor. They see nothing. And they'll go, oh, well, he was in the main event. No, he wasn't. He was fed to a 50-year-old mayoral candidate. A semi-retired Kane. And just absolutely made to look like a non-threat. He gets Finn Balor, gets a steel chair, wraps it around his throat. He's got him on the ground. He goes up to the top rope like he's gonna smash and do the that chair spot with the throat. You know what I mean? You've seen it, where the guy comes down off the top rope, hits the chair with his feet, and chokes the guy. And all of this to set up the return of Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is over as fuck. They don't need to continue to do these big spots for him. He is easily in the territory where he could just come out, beat somebody's ass, and go home. Goldberg style. And the crowd would love him just as much. They are overdoing this thing with Kane. You are never going to make me believe that Kane can get the best of Braun Strowman. A 50-year-old semi-retired part-time pro wrestler versus a full-time young up-and-coming beast of a man. You cannot sell me on this. I've been down and against this angle from the beginning, and it only keeps going. Every time I think we've hit the end of this feud, it continues to grow and go on and on and on, and all I want is for Kane to go away. Do you think we've seen the last of Kane tonight? Braun Strowman came out to exact his revenge. He would power slam Kane into the steel steps, which he positioned nicely inside the ring. And then he would hit Kane in the throat with the chair, bouncing him off the steel steps, much like Kane did to him last week on Monday Night Raw. Twice. Braun got it once, staggered away to the back, barely breathing. Kane got it twice. He didn't look in nearly as bad shape as Braun Strowman looked last week. Kane's not done. This angle's not done. They're going to continue this. Look how long we got to go to the next Raw pay-per-view. The Clash of the Champions is a SmackDown branded show. We're going to have to deal with this shit all the way to the Royal Rumble? I don't know if I could deal with all this Kane. It has to stop. Braun Strowman deserves more than this. I'd rather see Braun Strowman as the Intercontinental Champion. There's a guy that the crowd is clearly behind, that is deserving of an accolade. He is the most improved wrestler from last year to this year, more beyond anybody else that's on that roster. He's gotten himself over despite all of the ways the WWE set him up to fail. They put him in the Wyatt family, which was a fail. He was still the most intriguing element of that group, especially when he left. And he was now not under the control of Bray Wyatt. What is this guy going to do? And they failed. And then they put him up against jobber after jobber after jobber. And then, strangely enough, James Ellsworth, the man who was just released from the WWE, was the catalyst in launching Braun Strowman into the atmosphere. Because this one little guy was not afraid to get in there again. Nobody else came back for more. And in that moment, 2 stars were made. And they fizzled out with James Ellsworth very quickly. But they made Braun Strowman. And they made him bigger and better since then. And their biggest failure was not giving him the Universal Championship when he faced Brock Lesnar earlier this year. And even bigger now still. The Miz is going away. You clearly have Braun Strowman as your top babyface in the company right now. The crowd just loves him. And rightfully so. He deserves it. You put the Intercontinental Championship on him, the ratings for tonight's show would have been through the roof. Although the creative probably would have found a way to ruin that by now too. And that's pretty much it, you guys. We see Kane staggering away at the end of this thing, and Braun Strowman standing there victorious in the end. We don't know where this is leading us. We don't know what that's going to end up. I could only hope that maybe it's an Inferno match or a casket match or some sort of gimmick match we haven't seen in a little bit, and that it will be the end of Kane. Let it be loser leaves town somehow. You know, if you lose, your contract is done. Go home. You retire. Go be the mayor. Stop ruining wrestling for everybody, you big red retard. Nobody wants to see Kane. We barely want to see The Undertaker. And he's 3,000 times bigger star than Kane. Even the return by The Undertaker would be received with much skepticism right now. You think we want to see guys like Kane? You think we want to see guys like Ken Shamrock, who's throwing his name out there to want to face the Beast for the Universal Championship? You think we want to see this shit? No. But that was your main event tonight. Jason Jordan versus Kane. And all it ended up being was a vehicle to get over Braun Strowman, who's already over. So I don't know what they're doing. This show was stupid. Really, it was. As a whole, not good, as usual. But that's what we've come to expect here. What do you expect? Right? I expect garbage, and I expect this holiday season to bring me a lot more of this shit so that I can come here and talk to you and spew my nonsense and get it off my chest, because without you guys, I'm nothing. I love you guys, and this channel is nothing without you guys. Don't forget, if you're new around these parts and you are here listening to my voice right now, 8 minutes, just hit that subscribe button. You enjoyed the show. You liked me. You watched all this time, almost an hour. I deserve a subscribe, I think. Hit that subscribe button. Ring that bell sitting right next to that word subscribe, so that you will be kept up to date every single time a video like this drops. The very second it does, you will be notified. All you gotta do is ring-a-ding-ding that little bell. While you're there clicking buttons and stuff, don't forget to smash that thumbs up if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast or any broadcast on this channel. Anything you watch, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Let me know you enjoyed this show, that you enjoy this channel, that you enjoy what we're doing here, so that we can continue to bring you the very, very best and most entertaining wrestling coverage there is on YouTube. Don't forget to check out the 5 worst Survivor Series moments. Keep your eyes open for the subscription box showdown coming at you this Wednesday. I promise it'll be there hopefully by noon, but if not, definitely by Wednesday night, depending on how good the rendering goes. And finally, don't forget to show some love to the sponsor, Clutch Chairs. They might have had a Cyber Sunday deal that is still in effect for you guys right now. Most people are extending their sales all this week. Check out Clutch Chairs. See if you can find your favorite superstar's chair there. Maybe you need a nice little cozy desk for your gaming system, or you want a chair that's going to help your back get better while you tear ass and shoot faces in your favorite video games. Clutch Chairs has got you covered. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is Blue the Snowball Microphone. Not only my tag team partner and my very best friend, but the World Heavyweight Champion of Microphones. This has been the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV. That is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you next time, tomorrow night, for the SmackDown Live review, right here, with Seth Rollins, on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow for SmackDown Live.